educational skills policy in Scotland needs to be realigned to maximise the country's progress. That's according to the Royal Society of Edinburgh. The Society's conclusion comes as MSPs vote on the Education Bill. Last night, members voted down proposals from Scottish Labour to create a new public body to handle the country's curriculum. And so the government's Education Bill is set for its final vote today. It would see the replacement of the Scottish Qualifications Authority with a new exam board, and it would also establish a new Chief Inspector of Education. Well, Dr. Janet Brown is the Royal Society of Edinburgh's Vice President for Education. She's also a former Chief Executive of the SQA. Good morning to you, Dr. Brown. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Just explain then what is wrong with Scotland's education policies. How does the Society feel that they need to change?
Well, one of the things we've just done a review of how the education system supports the national objectives that Scotland has, because we've got a series of very admirable and appropriate national objectives in the areas of economic growth, of addressing climate change and societal challenges such as poverty. And what we wanted to do was really understand how those national priorities and the national policies incorporated the skills and education agenda within them, and was the reform agenda that's currently underway in Scotland going to support those. So we've done quite a bit of work in trying to understand the complexity of those national priorities and highlighted areas where we felt that there should be some more focus. Specifically things like making sure that we really value all aspects of career paths, because a significant number of those policies highlight areas where there are vocational technical skills that have significant shortages that we need to make sure we address through not only the education system of our young people, but also through the lifelong learning system that we need to have in place to make sure that people can come and reskill and change careers and maybe rejoin the workforce after several years of being out of it.
So it's not always about college and university?
I think colleges and universities and schools have a huge role to play, as do private training providers, because it is about making sure that people can get the right skills to be able to not only allow them to participate in the workforce, but allow them to have good careers and good lives. And that sometimes means long courses, it sometimes means short courses, but it does mean valuable, aligned courses that really allow them to support Scotland's national objectives and allow us to be successful as a country.
So how would you change policy then to align with that, to make sure that that education is punting people towards these policies of economic growth, prevention of poverty and climate change?
Well, I think one of the things is very much to share the opportunities and to make sure that people value those opportunities. All too often we see academic pathways as the goal for everyone, whereas actually it is not necessarily the goal for any individual, but is also not necessarily the goal that Scotland needs for everyone anyway. And I think sharing the opportunities in the green agenda, there are significant roles there that people would get excellent career paths on. But we need to make sure that people are aware of them. I think one of the things that I think is very much being talked about is how do we ensure career advice is made available not only to young people, but also to people wanting to retrain.
Janet, thank you for your time this morning. Dr. Janet Brown, the Royal Society of Edinburgh's Vice President for Education.